Hi, everyone. Welcome to A Feminine Moment. And my name is Jennifer Cross, and I'm here with Dixie Andelin Forsyth. And we are going to be answering some questions today off our closed Facebook group. So you ready?
Great, yeah.
All right. Question came in a few days ago requesting us to talk about nagging. And here's the question. What is considered nagging? Mentioning something more than once, or if it's an ongoing issue that's causing a major concern, and in this person's case, it's a health and wellness issue with her husband. She's worried about his health, like we all worry about our husband's health.
Mm-hmm.
What to do and say instead of nagging. Thank you so much. What do you think?
That's a really good question. It happens all the time. And I think the thing to remember is, you have to just be very real here. We're talking about wanting somebody who's an adult to do something we feel they should do. And we may be 100% right, but they're still an adult. They're still fully grown. And so she said, mentioning something more than once, I hate to say it, it's kind of true. If you, for instance, let's think of a good example. Say your husband's a diabetic and he has a sweet tooth, which a lot of us do. And there's a cake or pie or something, and you see him taking some or a second piece or whatever. Reminding him once might be okay because he knows he has diabetes. He probably knows all the risks and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But you really can't call it not nagging if it's for something that you say is legitimate, like his health.
But there's probably a better way of doing it.
Of nagging?
Not nagging, of encouraging.
Men are usually pretty smart, and we are. We can tell if somebody is wanting us to do something, and if they mention it in this way or this way or this way, they still know. They still know. It's tough. It's really tough.
Yeah.
In the case of like his health, like he should get, I don't know what the health issues are, let's say he should get more exercise. It depends on the man, but it is nagging. And part of accepting a man at face value is tough. This is one of the tough ones, when his health is at stake. Let me ask the question, does it work?
Mm-hmm.
I would say
good question.
Not.
Mm-hmm.
Because the more you try to get a man to do something that he doesn't want to do, he feels unaccepted and he pushes against it, which is contrary to what you want. So what you can do is make, if it's foods, make more healthy choices available. Maybe make them look more appetizing. You can do that but not say anything. Make it available, make it more appetizing. There's some things that you can't do that with, like say exercise or a man can go out and buy a pie and eat the whole thing if he wants, or a whole box of donuts and eat the whole thing if he wants. And at some point you need to accept him. And even though it's frustrating, I think he might die early because he's eating donuts all the time and he's got diabetes or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Or let's say that he isn't spending enough time with the children when you want him to. There's been a lot of times in my life, as perfect as I think my husband is, the reason I think he's so perfect is because I've accepted his imperfections.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've just thought, there's things that he just isn't good at or doesn't like to do or doesn't see as important or whatever. And when I accept him in that area, I don't worry about it as much. I look for the other things. And I understand health is a tough one.
Yeah, and I have a different perspective on that because Jeff has cardiomyopathy, and in 2011 he had this horrible heart episode, and of course the recommendation was, more exercise, lose some weight, no sugar, no processed food, no alcohol, and he liked his beer and all of that for football games. So
Well, how about just junk food for football games?
yeah,
That's the normal food, isn't it?
the
Junk food.
sodas and things. So I
Yeah.
started really cook. I was already pretty healthy cook, but trying to create foods that were game kind of foods, healthier versions. And then,
You make sure they're really good and they won't miss it.
exactly, just super delicious food that he couldn't pass up anyway. And then I walked more. I sort of was like, oh, I'm going to go for a walk when I come with, just real casual.
Right, right.
And I made it fun. And,
yeah,
and
those are really
so much
good.
weight.
And if he says no thanks, you just say okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And one of my daughters, her kids will not eat vegetables, and it's a source of great stress for her. So she found some ways to sneak them into some foods. Like if she makes chicken pot pie, she will grate carrots.
Yeah.
And then they're eating them and they don't know they're eating them. So those are children, but there's still ways.
Spaghetti sauce, you can blend in green.
Talking to them about it is,
Yeah.
Men didn't want to marry a mother. And
That's
it's hard for us because when we are mothers, we tend to, our maternal say, what? Okay, I just saw a guy ride by. I'm sorry. There was a car that just went by the front window and he was lying on the back of his car and there's snow all over outside.
Oh, I'm so glad you got distracted because is Bob behind you? Because
no, this is my nephew.
Oh, I'm so confused.
Hi, maybe you should say hello. This is my nephew, Tyler. He's visiting us. He goes to college and he stays sometimes overnight here.
Hi, Tyler. Okay, because I was thinking I was seeing things.
No, in fact, he is one of the sons of my sister Jenny that you met when we were in Santa Barbara.
Yes.
Yeah, this is which number are you?
Number 8.
He's an 8th child of the 15.
Hi.
Sit down and say hi.
Hi.
Yeah,
that's
nice
Tyler.
to meet you. Yeah, I wondered if you could see him back there, and I thought maybe. Anyway, that's.
Sorry to disturb you, but I'm glad you're real and not.
Sure, what you're reading. Oops, he's reading vintage.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
It's a great read.
Yeah. So anyway, back to, that was a weird visual. Somebody just drove past our window lying on his back on the top of a car as the car was going down the street with snow all over it.
Well,
so, I'm sorry. It's like, that was a distraction. I couldn't get off of it. But anyway, back to
nagging.
Sometimes we convince ourselves they won't know if I say it this way or if I say it this way.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And they do. It kind of doesn't work. I've tried it. I've tried it, gals. I haven't.
That's good to hear, actually.
Doesn't work. It'd be one thing if it worked. It doesn't. In fact, it makes them more wary.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
If they don't want to talk about it. And it's not like you're telling them something they have no idea of. Here's a good rule of thumb. If you're telling them something you're pretty sure they have no idea, like, did you know that water I got out of the drainage pipe outside, don't drink it, and they're probably not going to drink it. But if it's something that they do know and they know, like stuff about their health, they probably not, and they do it anyway.
Yeah. And Jeff, he still likes his stuff, and I'll just say, what can I pick you up? And I try to find the healthiest version. And you just have to come to a healthy.
Because you're not going to mother them into doing something that is better for them. It isn't good for your relationship. It doesn't work.
I don't think it feels good when you're doing it. And because if you have that tension and it doesn't feel right, then you probably shouldn't.
Well, how would it just here's the around. How would you feel if somebody was saying that to you about a behavior or a habit or something you had that they were saying, you really shouldn't do that? It feels a little bit like I'm not accepted. I'm not good enough.
Yeah. So we have to go back to that acceptance.
Or you're being picky. I know I'm saying how I would feel if someone saying, I've known people that have said, you really shouldn't have another cookie. That's on weight, How does that make you feel? It doesn't, it feels like they think I'm unacceptable. And it's real easy to tell when you think, how would I feel if it was happening to me? So.
Yeah. I think, you know, you can't beat him. Join him, make his most delicious favorite meals. Hey, honey, what do you want for dinner? That's what I do. And I'll even, hey, I made you chocolate chip cookies. They're right here. So at least I made it. I know what is in it. It's not processed. He doesn't have to like.
Or you've added, if it's a diet thing, for example, you can add part applesauce, and they won't.
Oh,
even,
sure. Yeah,
you
exactly.
don't have to tell them. But there's other things you can't substitute anything. Like if he's supposed to exercise more, or well, let's say it's smoking, quit smoking.
Oh,
quit
that's,
drinking.
yeah.
You can't nag someone into quitting.
Yeah.
It'll hurt your relationship, and you can pray about it.
You know what? There's a story. One of your success stories has that in there about she wouldn't let him smoke in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really one of their bones of contention. And she stopped nagging him and made him comfortable. And then he gave it up.
And some people don't like that because now that success story was in the days before it was proven that smoking was really harmful to your health. And they thought, well, you shouldn't do it anyway. Everybody knows that now. They didn't know it then.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that when I was in grade school, people said, it hasn't been proven that smoking is bad for you. Now it sounds like silly. It's so obviously bad for you.
Oh, I grew up, people smoked in the car with their kids.
I grew up with a doctor smoking in the office when you're in there getting a consultation. So in the hospitals, doctors smoke. Now nobody does. Everybody knows it's rude to do it in the house. But the point was that it was something she wasn't comfortable with and how she handled it.
Right.
Remember, you don't always have to have your way in the relationship. And a hard thing to accept, but once you accept it, a huge burden is lifted off of you. Mm-hmm. I don't have to be in charge of this.
I love that.
Even though you're worried about it, you don't have to be in charge of it. You can go to God, you can pray for them.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a food thing, you can slip things in, you can do the best you can, but don't nag. They know. I promise. They will know. And it won't do you any good. So
all right. Well, thank you so much for this. This is great.
Okay.
I appreciate it. We'll be back again with more questions. Everybody, please like, comment, and share these videos. Go out to the website and purchase the updated vintage edition of Fascinating Womanhood that has been revised and updated by Dixie along with the new workbook.
Yeah.
And also check out the teacher page. We have lots of new teachers being trained to provide classes in person and online. Mm-hmm. So thanks again. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.